So today's story takes us back about a couple of months ago, actually maybe even close to a year, because this was back before I got moved around at work a couple times. So this story, the reason I'm telling this story now is because there are multiple stories that come after this that ultimately they're kind of interesting, and they're more so kind of freaky than some of the ones that I have told in the past. So this story all revolves around the time I think I might have made the worst possible deal with the devil in history. So to start, this story begins, like I said, just a couple months ago, or probably about a year ago. Again, I don't really remember the time frame. But me and my family were sitting in the living room of our house. We're sitting there, it's storming outside, and like it does when it storms, the power goes out, because where we live, I swear to God, anytime there's rainfall, the power goes out for whatever reason. It's just very unfortunate. So we're sitting there in the living room, and the power's out. The power's been out for about 2 hours. So we're just sitting there talking, playing on our phones, all that good stuff, all that stuff that you do when the power's out. And I had to be up for work at 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, that's not an issue, because I said we have our phones and whatnot, except for the fact that my phone was at a solid 7%, and my phone is the only form of alarm clock that I had to wake me up in the morning. It's like, man, I kind of need to be able to wake up to go to work. So me, just jokingly, I'm like, I would give my eternal soul for our power to come back on right now. And this is where it gets weird. Roughly, not even 5 minutes after that happens, the power comes back on. Now, me not thinking anything of it at the time, because you're like, oh, there's no way. You say something jokingly and then it happens. I'm like, oh, cool, the power came back on. But what was really weird is nobody overlooked the fact that I just said, hey, I would give my soul for the power to come back on. And then the power came back on, weirdly enough. So I go to sleep. I wake up for work in the morning, and I hop in the shower. Now, this is where the story starts to get a little bit more weird and a little bit more concerning. So I'm in the shower, and I look down, and I have a scratch across the middle of my chest. Again, not really thinking anything of it. I'm like, okay, it might be a mark from sleeping, or it might have been something I did at work the day before. I don't really know. But I sat there and I was thinking about it. It's like, I don't really know how I could have this scratch across my chest. So going forward again, I go to work the following morning. So I'm at work. I go to buy something while I'm on break. Now, I wish I would have been smart enough to have taken a picture of this, because it would give a little bit more validity. But my coworkers did see this, and they thought it was a little weird as well, especially after I told them what happened the night before. So I was buying something at work, and I had a gift card that I was using my remaining balance on to pay for my lunch. So I was at the self-checkout, I paid for it, and I finished out my gift card, and my remaining total was $6.66. I'll say that again, $6.66. The good old 666, devil's number, all that fun stuff, was the price that I had to pay after my gift card was done. So I had to pay $6.66. Now, this happening the morning after I made my little joking deal for my power to come back on, made that a little bit more concerning in my opinion. Now again, still not thinking anything of it, because I try to look on the bright side as much as I can. I went home that day, and after work, again, I took a shower. Now, looking in the shower, I looked down to where that scratch was before, and now, instead of it being a scratch, I just had a bruise on my chest in that same spot. And it was like this really dark bruise. And that was kind of where I started to be concerned, because one, I didn't know where the scratch could have come from. Second, if I don't know where the scratch came from, I don't know how in the hell I could have managed to get a bruise. So that's, that's a little weird. And then going into that evening, I was working on some schoolwork, so I'm sitting at my desk. My desk has a glass top, so, condensation will show up on the glass. So I was sitting there, I was doing my schoolwork on my computer, and I looked down, and because I noticed something. I see something like at the very bottom of my eyesight, and I'm like, oh, okay, why is there condensation on my desk when, I was just sitting there. Like, there shouldn't be any moisture in there. There's none anywhere. Like, my water is over to the side, and I'm trying to figure out why there's condensation. So I look down, and it almost looks like there's steam coming up from my desk, and I look down, it has it looks like a set of horns. Like, I kid you not. Like, the good old cliche, goat horn is what it looks like. That's literally what the condensation looks like on my desk. And you know how normally condensation fades? I was looking at it, it just stayed there. And it was just staying there, and it was almost like vapor was coming up from my desk. And, that being a little concerning because the sequence of the last 48 hours had gotten a little much, in my opinion. I wiped it away. Again, trying to think nothing of it. However, I can say since this has happened, since all of those events have happened, there has been a more frequent occurrence of weird things happening around my house and with me personally. And that is what we're going to get into in the next story. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and share this now. That way the next couple stories that keep building on this one make a little bit more sense. Now, I don't know about y'all. I think I am on the receiving end of a very bad deal. But, this all could just be one really big series of coincidence. I don't know. I will let y'all be the judge of that. And if anything else happens, I'm going to keep this informed. I will keep y'all informed. I'm going to keep this one updated.